Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back again to the channel. The first video went live as of right now, went live 2 days ago, so I hope you all enjoyed that one. So we're going again, round 2 today. This video might be a little bit shorter than the last one as we're not actually at one of our events. As we mentioned in our previous videos, our previous video, is that we're also trying to do more automotive content in general besides just our own events. So today I'm actually alone. I'm not here with Turner. Turner's unfortunately had to go back to school, but we'll see him soon, don't worry. So it's just me today. I'm here in Scottsdale, Arizona at Barrett Jackson. So today is Super Saturday, I believe it's called. So they got all the big cars. So they got LaFerrari, Bugatti Chiron, new Ford GT. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I've also heard there's a Hennessy Venom F5 actually not being auctioned, but it is with Hennessy in the back area. So we're gonna go check that out and I'll see you guys when we're in there. All right, we made it. I don't know how good you guys can hear me, but we made it inside Barrett. Behind me is the staging area before they go on stage through those doors. I don't know if I'll be able to get up there. I'll try. It is mainly for those who are bidding. But behind me is actually 2 Ferraris that are about to go up on stage. They are a 575 and a 550 Maranello, both gated, correct me if I'm wrong, but both Ferrari's last V12 gated manuals.
All right, so behind those 2 Ferraris was a Lamborghini Performante that is going up next. The Performante, legendary car. Obviously, it was outdone by the SVJ in terms of the Nürburgring time, but still a really cool car to see. You see them not that much actually. You normally see just normal Huracans or the new Evos, so it's still cool to see a Performante out in the wild.
All right, so we made it to the second staging area. This is the little area before, the more private area down there that we just in. But if you notice behind me, there is I believe it's a 50th anniversary edition licensed Shelby, basically. It's a GT40 that, it's not a real one unfortunately, but it's still cool to see one no matter what.
All right, so the Bugatti here, the spec of it is, I believe the launch spec, if you think of Bugatti Chiron, it's a typical spec that one comes in, but if you don't custom order it, stuff like that. Nonetheless, even if it is the normal spec that you might see one in, it's still Bugatti either way. Like look at this carbon fiber everywhere. We just saw the 50th anniversary edition Ford GT40. Now this is the GT that came out in the 2000s. This is probably my personal favorite spec. It's the dark blue with the white stripes. Another person who didn't own this exact car, but the same type of spec, Jeremy Clarkson, had an identical car to this one.
All right guys, we're about to do something pretty cool. The Ford GT behind us, I'm actually gonna hop in it and go for a small little ride with the person who is driving the car onto the stage. All right guys, we're about to go up, not fully on stage because I gotta get out before that, but a huge shout out to Sean here. I don't know if you can see him, but the camera's a little buggy. But shout out to him for letting me hop in with him in the GTs. I've been watching Barrett Jackson since I was like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years old, so definitely buckled this. That was super cool, so shout out to those guys. All right guys, we're back here at the Hennessy booth and I'm here with Anthony, who is here with Hennessy, and they brought,
seriously special toy with them. So can you give us some of the rundown on, numbers, anything that is public-wise?
Absolutely. So this is chassis number 2 of our F5 Coupe. So it's the classic hardtop, top speed record car. It's got a 6.6 liter twin turbo V8, making just over 1,800 horsepower. Car weighs right around 3,000 pounds. And yeah, it's a beast. It's gnarly. We've hit 286 miles an hour so far, and the #1 limiting factor is the room. We don't have any room to do it. So we run out of room pretty quick. It covers a mile in just a few seconds at its top speed. So it's a lot of fun. It's pretty wild seeing these things drive around every day. 10 a year, 10 to 12 a year. We've built right around that 30 mark so far.
Wow, 30. And is it the way you guys design them? Is it like the typical hypercar stuff where you can spec it? Each owner comes out and specs it individually, or is it all built specifically?
Everything. So they're built to order. Once you decide you want an F5, you place an order, then you start speccing out your car, and we build it from then. Every car is unique. Once a customer chooses a specific paint job or specific color scheme, that's crossed off the list. Nobody else can get it. So every car is 100% unique, which is a very cool touch. They're all technically one-of-ones.
And customer owned already?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys I take it you guys just work really closely with customers?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. We're also constantly improving the car, even though it's very good as it is. It's constantly being tinkered with,
right?
And the owners are well aware of that. So yes, we have very good relationships with all of our owners.
Is there any like specific features on the interior wise in terms of that makes it different from like other hypercars? Because I know like Koenigsegg has all the unique buttons in terms of how they turn on. Bugatti is very like well defined, and I know Hennessy is very raw, and I'm curious like the way you guys designed it, is it specifically built that way, or is it more of the, I want to be comfortable?
If you're talking interior, the most defining interior feature is the yoke steering. It's doing the yoke instead of the full wheel.
Right.
The reason for it, our lead designer said, when you're pushing 300 miles an hour in a car, it's more like you're flying a jet than you're driving.
Yeah. It's interesting you guys went with that.
That with the yoke instead of having the full wheel. Other than that, the interior was intentionally kept very simple and very minimal.
Right.
A lot of customers look at these cars as investments, and you don't want anything dated in the future, right? Interior and exterior was going for that timeless look. Something that'll still look good in 20 years.
And then just again on the yoke, because I know with Tesla when they did I know obviously Tesla's nothing like this car at all, complete opposite. But I know when they came out with their yoke, it got a lot of bad controversy in terms of its handling. And this is obviously way more of a handling vehicle.
Yes.
Have you got any complaints from any owners or any people online in terms of its handling ability for like overcorrecting a steer or something, or sliding like that?
When you're really, really pushing the car, you're not moving around your hands all over the wheel. They're staying on the sides, right, when you're really pushing it. And if you are ever in a situation where you do need to overlap, you're moving slow enough in this thing where it's not going to affect you.
Yeah.
So no, that's not a complaint we've had, just because of the nature of this car. It's so high performance, that it makes sense to have a wheel like that.
All right, guys, we are inside Barrett Jackson now, where all the cars are basically staged afterwards. Or they're sold, so they come here for when they're being done, everything like that. There's just a Porsche here. The reason I'm here right now is because there's I would like to call it a Baja style Ford Bronco, and I know our boy Eduardo, he's gonna love this because he's huge on off-road stuff. So this thing is insane. We got the suspension. The suspension travel is just massive. I'm not a huge off-road guy, so Eduardo, you probably have to leave something in the comments for people to understand a little bit more. But I wish you were here for this. But this truck is just absolutely massive. Tires on this are huge. I'm not sure how big the tires are, but it's just such a massive car. The front, I would assume, bash bar in a way. That's my turns, but the skid plate on it is massive. So this thing's probably taking massive. Hopefully the new owner of this, because this car did sell, I believe it sold for, that says, bogus, $235,000. This thing sold for. Absolutely insane.
So hopefully the owner doesn't just garage this and they actually use it and take it to Baja, something like that. So it'd be sick to actually see this thing out there in the public. All right, here's the 4GT that we were with earlier. This car went up, it sold. First time ever being in one. Seats actually weren't too bad. I know a lot of people mentioned that the seats are uncomfortable, but then again, I was in it for what, maybe like 5 minutes or something, so it wasn't too bad. But the one thing that I will say is the top doors, they do chop your head. That nearly hit me. So somebody my height would not be able to properly fit me. So I'm surprised that when Jeremy Clarkson owned this car, not this one, similar spec, but I don't know how he fit in it. I don't know how tall Jeremy Clarkson is off the top of my head, but this is probably a car that would fit Richard Hammond and not Clarkson. So props to him. But a little cool fact about the car, if you didn't know already, is the headlights. If you look at them, it says 100 in the lights. It spells out 100, which the car was. Ford did that when this car came out to represent 100 years of Ford, and it was a small detail. Barely, I'd say not a lot of people know about that fact. I didn't know about it until probably about a year ago or so, and this car's been out since 2000. So, all right, continuing our thing with Fords. Behind me is the Shelby GT500 Code Red. So this is for our Shelby crew out there. So shout out SoCal Shelbys. I think you guys got to get one of these in your crew. This one just sold here at Barrett Jackson for a whopping $255,000. This is, I believe, a twin turbo car. If I'm not sure. I don't know a lot about the Code Red. I mean, I never knew this car actually existed until today. It's mental. I believe it makes 1,500 wheel horsepower, which is just insane when we have this car. It's also a little bit wider from my understanding. It's got a wide body kit to it, so it's just a little bit bigger and farther out compared to most other GT500s. It's massive. I mean, it's got carbon fiber inserts everywhere, custom interior. The thing that definitely stands out is easily these look at the discs. These front discs are huge. Now I know most people say that the biggest factory disc that you can get is the Lamborghini Urus, but I know this technically isn't factory, but I'd say it gives the Urus a run for its money and how big the discs are. So behind me is one of the two SF90s that sold here, and what's crazy is that this one sold for $545,000, which makes sense, I guess. In a way, it's got the carbon package for carbon rims, it's got the painted front, so it's a little bit nicer to that red one over there. That red one actually sold for $480,000. And what's crazy is that just that red one in general, I'd say maybe a few months ago, 6, 7, 8 months ago, something like that, was selling for around $800,000 to $900,000. Sometimes they would be worth $1 million. Both these price points for these cars, so this one being, you know, the $545,000, or that one being $480,000. I say they're both equally priced, depending on how many miles they each have. All right, behind me is the 4GT. I know we're talking about a lot about Ford and Ferrari today, so it's kind of funny. It works a little bit, but this, in my opinion, is, from my knowledge at least, the cheapest 4GT to be sold ever, besides ones that were possibly from factory. This one sold for $800,000. Still a lot of money nonetheless, but compared to what most GTs on the market are selling for right now, upwards of some sitting around $1 million, some around $900,000, but I've never seen one go for $800,000, especially one like this where it's nicely spec'd, that is for sure. The brilliant red paint, carbon fiber wheels, and then it only has 35 miles on it total, which is insane. So a car like this, if you saw it on the market, would probably sell for anywhere, I don't know, from $980,000 or up. I know a lot of people are buying them for just shy of $1 million, over $1 million, but like I said, it's crazy. Probably the cheapest 4GT on the market. Well, now off the market because it's sold here at Barrett Jackson. But $800,000 for this car. I'd say whoever bought it got one hell of a deal. Now, I will say the one thing that does kill that car is, unfortunately, the twin-turbo V6. It defeats the purpose of what the 4GT was with that huge V8, super light chassis, and it was just, it's safe to drive. That was with the 2000 GT that we rode in earlier. That thing it's raw, it's just original, it has so much emphasis on everything it does. They are going to make another GT. I don't know if they are, because I know Ferrari are currently in the works of their next hypercar.
Nice.
You have McLaren, who just unveiled their W1, which that got some serious controversy. And then you have
Porsche with their all-electric car that they're coming out with. So maybe Ford will throw something in there to compete with them, because I know Ford is going into Formula One. They're going to be going with Red Bull. All right, guys, that's going to end it for today here at Barrett Jackson. Huge shout out to them again for allowing us to film and do all this awesome stuff here today. Ending the video right here with the GT in the background, because it just feels right. It feels like the right thing to do. It was one of the key highlights today. There was a lot of cool stuff, but that was mainly the first thing that really stood out.
So definitely cool car. I know now that I don't really fit in this, so if I ever get to that point in life where I'm able to afford one, I might have to do a little bit of customization of chopping the roof off, because those doors are no joke. It didn't really fit in it very well, but
yeah, we're gonna end it there, and that's gonna do it for Barrett Jackson. So make sure to leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and hit that notifications bell, and we'll see you guys in the next one.